Part 28. The fake daughter can be either salty or sweet. Author, Wu Zizai. Chapter 271. Chapter 271 Bodyguard. After Yang Zizi got off work, he found that 11 Jin was so bored that he waited for her all afternoon. 11 Jin is playing the game in full swing. Suddenly he saw Yang Zizi coming out and quickly ran out of the car. Yang Zizi lowered his hat instantly, put on the sunglasses that had slipped off, raised his mask, turned around and walked in the other direction. Zizi, 11 Jin was chasing after him. He didn't know what was going on. Why did Yang Zizi run away as soon as he saw him? Yang Zizi called 11 Jin while walking. 11 Jin picked up the phone while chasing. Hey, can you please stop being a ghost? Yang Zizi couldn't help complaining. Her company and career were in a period of rapid growth. If he was photographed by the media walking with a boy, even if it was not the slightest. Even if there is no intimate behavior, there will be several love stories written by internet keyboard warriors, and there are all versions. It wouldn't matter if the scandal affected her alone, but now she is no longer alone. Everyone in the company has entrusted their youth to her, and she must not bear this responsibility. But I'm afraid you are in danger, 11 Jin explained. Now that Yang Zizi is pregnant, he, a grown man, has become extremely sensitive. What kind of danger can I, a hybrid of a vampire and an angel, be in? Yang Zizi really couldn't understand 11 Jin's magical thinking. Now she could deal with 11 Jin with one hand, and he was still worried about her. Danger. The phone was hung up for no reason. Yang Zizi looked behind him in confusion. That boy 11 Jin was gone. Could it be that he had left? Yang Zizi pulled his sunglasses down a little, and voila, he finally left. But when Yang Zizi turned her head, 11 Jin suddenly appeared in front of her and said loudly, "Miss, I was sent by Madam to be your bodyguard." The voice was loud, as if it was meant to be heard by the paparazzi who were ambushing me on all sides. This boy has so many tricks up his sleeve. Okay, I'll trouble you later. Yang Zizi was helpless, not to mention having 11 Jin by her side, which is not a bad thing. Now that she is pregnant, there are some things that need to be considered for the child. One more child being around is also pretty good. 11 Jin immediately looked successful. The paparazzi lurking around were very angry. They thought they could make a fortune by breaking a shocking scandal, but now it seems that they have failed. Just a bodyguard, nothing to photograph or write about. Tell me, how much is your monthly salary worthy of being the leader of the Wolf clan? Yang Zizi sat in the passenger seat, glanced at him lightly and said. Salary? How could I, Zijin, be your bodyguard because of my salary? However, if she insisted on giving it to him, he would not refuse. If you offer it, I won't refuse it. 11 Jin looked at Yang Zizi with a smile on his face. Yang Zizi rolled his eyes at him. Is 300,000 a month enough? Yang Zizi asked. Of course he knew that 11 Jin did not make money for himself, but to make the people of the Wolf tribe live a better life. Seeing that 11 Jin didn't answer for a long time, she thought he was too young. What's the matter, too little? 500,000, 500,000 is already his bottom line, no more. There is no bodyguard in the world whose salary is higher than 11 Jin. But then again, he is not an ordinary bodyguard. After all, he is the leader of the Wolf tribe. His salary is too small to be worthy of his noble status. End of this chapter. The fake daughter can be either salty or sweet. Author, Wu Zizai. Chapter 272. Chapter 272 I still like him. Thank you, boss. 11 Jin suddenly let go of the steering wheel, cupped his fists at Yang Zizi, and said with a smile. Yang Zizi gave him a rude smile. In addition to hanging around the company every day, Yang Zizi also goes to local filming studios. Recently, their artist Choi Ye-in signed a contract for a big IP drama, taking on the role of the heroine for the first time. Choi Yin is very nervous, always unsure of herself and afraid that she will embarrass the company. Officially announced the cast of the youth campus idol drama Warm Little Hours. Netizens didn't buy it one after another. A newcomer who has just acted in one drama and becomes the heroine must not be a role that was snatched away. I heard that Kui Ye-in is the second generation of rich people and her family owns a company. Her father must have invested a lot of money in the agency to buy this role. Isn't it because of unspoken rules? There are many people in the entertainment industry who are much better at acting than her, so why did she choose her? Looking at this heroine, I can tell on my fingers that this show is going to be ruined. On the internet, there are all comments denying Kui Yin's performance in this drama, and even personal attacks, involving people around Kui Yin. Yang Zizi comforted her that this is a normal phenomenon in the entertainment industry, and superstars are still being hacked. The more people are famous, the more people are negative about you, which means the better you are. Otherwise, how could people pay attention to you, and why would they waste their time paying attention to you? Kui Yin is very grateful to Yang Zizi. Since her debut, she has been encouraging her to move forward and not look back. Thank you, junior school girl. Sometimes, she felt ashamed in front of this junior school girl. At any rate, you were crazy about my brother, so let's consider it as compensation. Yang Zizi didn't want her to think that she owed him a favor just because of her few words. Speaking of Gui Chen Chen, Kui Yin lowered his eyes, and the light in his eyes immediately dissipated. Why hasn't he appeared all this time? Fans want to see his new works, Kui Yin murmured, admitting in her heart that she missed him too. I don't know why, but I've been having nightmares lately, and I always feel like something bad has happened. But I don't know what it is. Yang Zizi calmed down his emotions and tried his best to prevent Kui Yin from feeling her negative emotions. He will be back soon, he comforted her, but also deceived himself. How long? She asked anxiously. If she remembered correctly, she told herself the same thing last time, but he still didn't come. Looking at the anxious Kui Yin, sooner or later she will figure it out. Do you still like my brother? Yang Zizi asked. Well, I can never forget him, Kui Yin said honestly. But it's impossible for you. Yang Zizi didn't know how to explain to Kui Yin, and she couldn't tell her the fact that Gui Chen Chen was a vampire. This would not only scare Kui Yin, but also expose her identity as a vampire. Human beings have destroyed the order of the vampires, and every choice is undesirable. Zizi, actually I know that Chen Chen is still single, and his fiancée was actually cheated on me by him in order to make me give up on him, right? Kui Yin was not asking him but telling her that she knew everything. How do you know? Yesterday I saw you with a boy. When I saw him, I realized that the girl was actually him pretending to be a boy, Kui Yin said with a smile. When she saw 11 Jin and recognized him, he was excited. This proved that Gui Chen Chen did not have a fiancé at all. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The fake daughter can be either salty or sweet. Author, Wu Zizai. Chapter 273. Chapter 273. He is no longer here. Yang Zizi was stunned. Now that he knew it, there was no need to hide it anymore. He is indeed single, but, unfortunately, he and the other brothers are no longer here. After receiving the answer that Yang Zizi personally acknowledged, she was so excited that she couldn't speak incoherently. She opened her mouth so excitedly that she didn't know what to say. As long as he is single, he has a great chance. Then can you tell me where he is? Don't worry, I will never interfere with our normal work. Kui Yin finally said what she wanted to say excitedly. Yang Zizi hesitated. She didn't know whether she should tell him, but in the end, She took a deep breath and said, "He is no longer here." Yang Zizi lowered his eyes, thinking in his heart full of self-blame. In the final analysis, it was all because of her that she harmed her brothers. What? Kui Yin took several steps back weakly. How is this possible? He is so healthy and strong, how is it possible? Yes, he was so healthy, so strong, and so powerful. Why was he killed by Lun Zhenji? When he thinks about the prosperous times, Yang Zizi hates him to the core. Don't waste any more time on my brother, it's not worth it. Yang Zizi dissuaded him. If his brother was here, he didn't want anyone to feel sad for him. Impossible, I don't believe it, I won't believe it. Kui Yin bit her lower lip tightly and tried very hard to control the tears in her eyes, but she couldn't control it after all, and the tears came out like a flood. Zizi, please take me to see him, please take me to see him, okay. Kui Yin suddenly stepped forward, held Yang Zizi's hand, and begged her to take her to see Gui Chen Chen. Even just one side is fine. Senior sister, please calm down. My brother is really gone. In order to accept this fact, Yang Zizi also spent a lot of time, but as soon as he mentioned his brothers, his heart became extremely twisted. It hurt so much that she couldn't live a normal life. Looking at Yang Zizi's serious, painful, and desperate look, Kui Yin felt that the end of the world was coming. It seemed like yesterday he was introducing his fiancée to her on campus, but today, he heard this unacceptable bad news. Would you please take me to his tomb? Kui Yin's eyes were filled with sorrow, and she could not bear the severe pain that spread throughout her body. Vampire corpses are disposed of differently than humans. It has never been possible for vampire corpses to survive and be buried low. Yang Zizi seemed to be able to see in his mind that day, Lun Zhenji personally killed his brothers and then burned them to ashes with a fire. Ah! Suddenly, Yang Zizi felt severe pain in her head. The burning sensation made her feel as if her head was going to explode in the next second. Ah! Yang Zizi was in agony. Senior sister, junior college student, what's wrong with you? Kui Yin worriedly supported Yang Zizi, who fell to the ground. She felt very guilty in her heart. He clearly knew that Gui Chen Chen was his biological brother, but she still forced her like this. His pain for Gui Chen Chen was no less than his own. She must have thought of her brother, and her brother's departure must have been a big blow to her. The pain in my head did not subside but got a little worse. Ah, I feel like my head is going to split, Yang Zizi yelled in anger. The pain made her wings vaguely spread, but Kui Yin was still there, and she must not reveal her true identity in the human world. End of this chapter. The fake daughter can be either salty or sweet. Author, Wu Zizai. Chapter 274. Chapter 274 Numbness. Just when Yang Zizi couldn't stand it anymore, a figure suddenly flashed to Yang Zizi's side, picked her up and threw her into the car, and disappeared with a whoosh. In just 3 seconds, the person and the car disappeared in front of Kui Yin's eyes. Kui Yin stared with big eyes, not knowing what happened just now. 11 Jin carried Yang Zizi back to the room, put her on the bed, hugged her tightly, and asked her to calm down as soon as possible. Once she calmed down, everything would be fine. Unknowingly, Yang Zizi fell asleep nestled in 11 Jin's arms. 11 Jin lowered his head and glanced at the person in his arms, feeling both distressed and angry. Lun Zhenji, if I see you, I will definitely kill you. Seeing Yang Zizi in pain and despair because of him, his heart ached all the time. When Yang Zizi woke up, it was already 3 o'clock in the morning. She walked out of the room and saw a tall and straight boy sitting on the ground, leaning against the sofa, watching the TV series on the TV with dull eyes. 11 Jin, why haven't you gone back yet? Yang Zizi poured himself a glass of water. 11 Jin quickly walked to her side, hugged her, and said in a pleading tone, Zizi, please forget about him. He didn't ask Yang Zizi to fall in love with him, he only hoped that she could forget him. She fell in love with a man who hurt her deeply. "Don't worry, I can do it." Yang Zizi broke away from his arms, smiled and said to him, then sat on the sofa and looked at the TV screen, but couldn't see anything. She didn't want to forget him, but, remembering him so hard, she would forget him no matter how hard she said it. Every night in the dead of night, she would tell herself that she must forget this man, because he was not qualified to get her love. However, the more this happened, the more the figure of Lun Zhenji wandered around in her mind, as if he insisted on going against her. "Zizi, you can live a normal life only if you forget him, otherwise your identity will be exposed soon." If he hadn't arrived in time this time, I'm afraid her black and white wings would have been revealed to the world. By then, this scene would have angered the people of the vampire clan. Even if she was the biological daughter of the former vampire king, as long as she violated the rules of the vampire clan, she would be punished. Being put to death. "I know," Yang Zizi lost his temper at 11 Jin irritably. Since leaving the vampire clan, every second of her life has been extremely painful. She couldn't forget their past, but every time she thought of him ruthlessly killing her brothers, she hated him so much that she felt like she was going to collapse over and over again. "I'm sorry, I shouldn't have forced you." 11 Jin looked at Yang Zizi with apologetic look. In this matter, Yang Zizi was the biggest victim. Not only was he defrauded of his most sincere feelings by Lun Zhenji, but he also took the lives of his brothers. "I will always be by your side." 11 Jin's voice was gentle. Yang Zizi lowered his head and held the transparent water glass tightly in his hands. With a peng sound, the water glass was crushed into pieces by Yang Zizi and fell to the ground. Yang Zizi was wearing slippers, and the glass shards mercilessly penetrated her body. She was numb from the pain and did not use her mind to use her self-healing ability to deal with all the wounds. "Zizi," 11 Jin looked at him worriedly and motioned for her to heal herself. "Leave me alone." Yang Zizi's lips were chapped and his voice was hoarse. End of this chapter. The fake daughter can be either salty or sweet. Author, Wu Zizai. Chapter 275. Chapter 275 Wia. 11 Jin's hand hanging in mid-air suddenly stopped because of Yang Zizi's words. He knew that Yang Zizi was in great pain at this moment. He stood up and left, wanting to give Yang Zizi some space to calm down. However, he did not go far to prevent anything from happening to Yang Zizi, and 11 Jin stayed outside the door. In the early morning, when Yang Zizi was about to go out, she suddenly saw 11 Jin sitting on the stairs and dozing, which really startled her. "Ah!" 11 Jin was suddenly awakened by Yang Zizi's cry. When he saw Yang Zizi standing in front of him, he suddenly woke up. "What are you doing sleeping here?" Yang Zizi seemed frightened. "I'm afraid something will happen to you, so I'm staying here." 11 Jin stood up, patted the dust on his body, and said with a smile. Yang Zizi sighed and said helplessly, "What can happen to me? I'm a mixed race, no one can hurt me." 11 Jin lowered his head and smiled. There was indeed no one in this world who could hurt her. Only him in her heart was her invisible pain. "Where are you going?" 11 Jin asked knowingly. "Go to the company." Where else could she go now besides the company? 11 Jin looked worried. He was afraid that something like yesterday would happen again today. But he couldn't stop her, so he had to stay close to her as a bodyguard to protect her safety at all times. The set. Choi Ye-ian is filming a fight scene. The second female lead in this drama is an actress recommended by the partner. She has a very high status and can barely be said to have reached the second tier. However, because this drama has a large amount of investment, and it is also a big IP drama, produced by Yang Zizi Company, the position of the number one female lead will naturally be taken by an artist under Yang Zizi. The second female lead was very dissatisfied with this role. At first, she was confident that she could definitely win the role of the first female lead, but she was burned out. She is also interested in the team of this drama. The director, producer, and screenwriter are all famous figures. Everyone who has acted in their dramas has become famous overnight and has become a top-notch actor. She is just one breath away from reaching the first-tier level. As long as she finishes this drama, her status will be upgraded again. There is only one way to upgrade her status, which is to enter the first-tier queue. Her resources and treatment will be greatly improved in the future. Improvement. But on the set, the only thing that made her very unhappy was the female lead. In her eyes, Kui Yin was pure, sweet, sensible and well-behaved. This made her look in her eyes and hate her in her heart. But you can't openly go against her. After all, her personality in the entertainment industry still needs to be maintained. If her personality collapses, she will most likely be banned. Of course she didn't dare to do it openly, but secretly, no one knew about it, so she naturally dared to do whatever she wanted. Li Yi raised the corners of his mouth and looked at Wea proudly, as if everything was under her control. He didn't believe it. This time, she could continue filming. Chui Yan's fighting scene requires the use of Qinggong, which means that the power of Wea is needed to complete the fighting scene. The wire lifted Kui Yin to the highest point, and when she was about to fly up and dance her sword, the wire suddenly broke. Everyone was terrified and wanted to prepare for rescue as quickly as possible. However, this incident was too sudden, and Kui Yin's fall was too fast. No one could catch up with the speed of light to rescue Kui Yin. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The fake daughter can be either salty or sweet. Author, Wu Zizai. Chapter 276. Chapter 276 Cool Wind. Suddenly, everyone felt a gust of wind blowing. When he opened his eyes again, he saw a young man wearing a black mask and a black hat catching Kui Yin. Li Yi looked at this scene, angry, and almost stamped his feet in anxiety. However, there were so many cameras next to him, and if he was caught on camera, it would probably be exposed. Kui Yin hooked Gui Chenchen's neck and looked at him without blinking. "Ghost Chen," she murmured in disbelief. "You have the wrong person," Gui Chen said and put him down and immediately ran away. No one saw clearly how he left. Perhaps it just came and went without a trace. Chen. Kui Yin reacted and wanted to chase her like crazy, but all the staff present gathered around to see if Kui Yin was okay. She must not have admitted her mistake, it was definitely Gui Chen, he came back, he didn't leave. "Xiao En, are you okay? Sister En, do you feel uncomfortable somewhere? Would you like to go to the hospital? I've called an ambulance." Everyone present gathered around, but Kui Yin didn't hear a word of the concerned voices. She looked at the direction Gui Chen left, and wanted to chase him, but his speed was so fast that she couldn't imagine it, and she couldn't tell which direction he left from. There was a group of people surrounding him, making it impossible for her to move. Everyone felt relieved after confirming that Kui Yin was fine, and let everyone take a rest for the time being. That scene scared everyone present. "Xiao En, are you okay?" Li Yi suddenly came over, pretending to be the same thing. Kui Yin just glanced at her lightly and replied calmly, "It's okay." Li Yi was very dissatisfied with Kui Yin's attitude towards her. Isn't she an artist under Yang Zizi? She was so arrogant, as if she looked down on someone. In terms of experience and works, she was not even a bit inferior to him. Li Yi worked very hard to control his expression. Reporters would come to visit his class every day. If he was photographed and posted online, there would be rumors of discord with his colleagues. Her agent has always reminded her that she must have a good relationship with her co-stars. Even if she doesn't like them, she must pretend to like them, and she must not show any of her indecent emotions in front of reporters. It's too dangerous to use Diao Wei Ya, Xiao En, why don't you ask the director to use a stand-in, it's safer, Li Yi said kindly. I'm afraid there's no one in the entertainment industry who doesn't know that Director Chen of this show is famous for being serious and professional, and he's even more selective in his selection of actors. He doesn't need any top traffic, as long as he has superb acting skills, he will definitely arrange one for the other party. If you don't have the ability to play a suitable role, you won't even have a chance to meet. Moreover, Director Chen has always disliked actors using stand-ins. Every scene needs to be completed by the actors themselves. Even the later dubbing production is the actor's own voice. Therefore, in Director Chen's eyes, superb acting skills and cultivation is not enough, you also need to have excellent script skills, and there are even more stringent requirements. Kui Yin glanced at her lightly. What on earth was this woman thinking? If you are embarrassed to speak, I can go and speak for you. It's okay, Li Yi said, twisting her slender waist and running to find the director before Kui Yin could stop her. End of this chapter. The fake daughter can be either salty or sweet. Author, Wu Zizai. Chapter 277. Chapter 277, Conquer Heaven and Earth to Kill Yourself. Director Chen. Li Yi pretended to be obedient and called Director Chen in a coquettish voice. Director Chen, who was busy, glanced at her lightly. Xiao En said that she was very frightened just now and wanted to find a stuntman for this fight scene. You see. Looking at Director Chen's face slowly darkening, Li Yi's voice gradually weakened until he did not dare to speak anymore. Go on. Substitute? Did she ask for it? Director Chen seemed to be very unhappy and asked sarcastically. No one is invited. Suddenly, a shocking voice reached their ears. Turned around and saw that it was Yang Zizi. As soon as she saw the news that something happened on her set, she, as the boss, naturally had to come and see for herself. After all, it was one of her artists who almost had an accident. And Wia's chain dropped for no reason, which is simply unbelievable. Their filming equipment has undergone strict quality inspections, and will be strictly checked again by professional equipment engineers before filming begins. If there is even the slightest failure, the equipment will be stopped from use. Yang Zizi held his arms and looked at Li Yi condescendingly. Li Yi was several centimeters taller than Yang Zizi. Coupled with the opponent's extremely powerful aura, Li Yi was crushed to the ground. She lowered her head and pursed her lips tightly, not daring to make a sound. Although she is a professional actor, she can obviously use her acting skills to show that she has nothing to do with me and is very worried about Kui Yin, but for some reason, in Yang Zizi, she is inexplicably nervous, no matter how good her acting skills are. No matter how superb it is, it seems impossible to perform it. She told you personally that she wanted to be a substitute, Yang Zizi said. Every volume was controlled perfectly, making the other person feel ashamed. Li Yi nodded unconfidently. Really? Yang Zizi asked again. She will do her best to protect her artist from any harm. Yes, he told me that himself. Li Yi suddenly straightened up, thinking that he was about to become a first-line superstar, and immediately became arrogant. However, deep down in his heart, he still couldn't help but feel inferior. Okay, if this is false, your fate will not be as simple as being banned, Yang Zizi warned. Li Yi's eyes immediately shrank, terrified. But when I think about it, her agency has only been established for a year, and she has only entered the front line not long ago, and who has the right to block her? It was also her agency that wanted to ban her. How could it be Yang Zizi's turn? Director Chen, please do your work first. I will solve this matter soon, and you will be able to shoot normally soon. Yang Zaza turned to Xiang and said with a smile, Director Chen is climbing in the director circle. He has been working down to earth for more than 40 years, and he can be called a veteran figure. His reputation is quite high. How many first-line superstars have to go out of their way to participate in a drama directed by Chen? So for Yang Zizi he said, Director Chen is both an elder and a mentor, so he should address you. Director Chen smiled and nodded, responding to her. Follow me, Yang Zizi said to Li Yi with a cold face. Kui Yin is reading the script. If Yang Zizi hadn't pulled her just now, she would have quarreled with people like Li Yi. Zizi, I really didn't ask to be replaced, Kui Yin continued to explain to Yang Zizi that she was extremely scared. In the entertainment industry, there are many reasons for being replaced, including being a big name and being unprofessional. End of this chapter. The fake daughter can be either salty or sweet. Author, Wu Zizai. Chapter 278. Chapter 278 Someone is looking at her. Don't worry, I know, Yang Zizi responded to Kui Yin with a comforting smile and looked at Li Yi with extreme indifference, you can get out. There is no basis for what she said. He just said clearly that he wanted to be a substitute. She didn't dare to tell the director. She had to ask me to tell the director. Li Yi pointed at Kui Yin with an angry look and looked anxiously. I really have the urge to hit someone. Yang Zizi's face darkened and he grabbed Li Yi's wrist. The sound of click is clear and crisp. Ah, Li Yi screamed like a pig. My artist, it's not your turn to tell me what to do. Li Yi endured the pain of broken bones, but felt extremely unwilling to do so. I'm sorry, I was wrong. In order to avoid torture, she lowered her body and begged Yang Zizi for mercy. Yang Zizi threw him away, and she deliberately controlled her strength. Otherwise, her hand would have been completely lost. Li Yi's assistant heard Li Yi scream and ran over immediately, but when he saw Yang Zizi, he stopped and did not dare to go any further. Trash, what are you looking at? Why don't you call an ambulance? Li Yi cursed angrily, venting all his dissatisfaction on his assistant. Ambulance. Only such a coquettish person would do such a thing. Zizi, Yang Zizi was surprised that a girl could be so strong. Don't worry, I'm not going to die. I just need to trouble Director Chen to find another actor. Yang Zizi said calmly, not taking what just happened to heart at all, just treating it as a lesson to a disobedient person. Dog. Actors are easy to find. There are a lot of A-list superstars queuing up to star in a film and television drama directed by Director Chen. But they don't know when they heard that they wanted to be cast by a sophomore who is even lower than themselves. I don't know if I will be willing to match, but what Yang Zizi didn't expect was that there were so many people coming to the audition. It was originally easy to choose, they were all first-line stars with both strength and traffic, but Director Chen was very picky and insisted on choosing the best among the best. As long as Yang Zizi went to the set, a cool wind would blow by near the set. How could someone who works seriously notice such an insignificant detail? 5 teenagers stood in a row, looking in the same direction. Yang Zizi sat on the chair and looked at her artists. They were all excellent, and she was very pleased. Suddenly, Yang Zizi felt as if someone was watching her from behind, but when she turned around, she saw that there was no one in all directions, except for a few small birds and animals flying by. There is a small island far away, and the island is a bleak forest. She could clearly see the traces of every leaf in the forest, as well as the lingering birds and animals floating on the leaves. However, I couldn't see those invisible eyes. Could it be that she is sensitive? What are you looking at? Are you looking for me? 11 Jin suddenly flashed in front of Yang Zizi and handed her a cup of milk tea, which was her favorite flavor. There is also a large cart at the back filled with milk tea. Ever since 11 Jin became Yang Zizi's bodyguard, as long as he was on the set, the staff and actors' welfare time would be indispensable. The staff, including actors, directors, producers, and writers, have a particularly good impression of 11 Jin, and they all like this youthful and sunny boy from the bottom of their hearts. Why are we looking for you? Yang Zizi took the milk tea and rolled his eyes at her. This kid is becoming more and more narcissistic. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The fake daughter can be either salty or sweet. Author, Wu Zizai. Chapter 279. Chapter 279. Who dares to touch me? Don't you miss me? 11. Jin sat down next to Yang Zizi neatly and looked at her aggrievedly for comfort. Why do I miss you? Yang Zizi replied ruthlessly. Half a year passed quickly. With 11 Jin, the little puppy, by her side, everything went smoothly. After the new year, Yang Zizi began to examine the script. Major production companies learned that Yang Zizi was coming out to film, and they all handed over the scripts. Looking at the piles of scripts on her desk, she suddenly felt a headache. But she still read half of the script patiently, and it only took a few minutes, because there were so many bad movies now that she had to eliminate them one by one, otherwise, he couldn't have wasted half a year of good time in 1 year. She was under a lot of pressure now. She was about to start a plan to raise a baby. How could she not make more money? Finally, Yang Zizi took out the script at the bottom with a try attitude and took a rough look at it. The drama is called Cultivation of Immortality and Raising a Baby, and it tells the story of a straight female college graduate who takes her baby to a world of cultivating immortality. While cultivating immortality, she turns on the mode of raising a baby. The plot is light-hearted, funny, and sweet. To abuse is like giving a slap in the face and then giving a piece of candy. Yang Zizi put the script aside and made a decision. That's it. She then took the initiative to contact the director to arrange the opening ceremony and shooting time. This drama is a large-scale production, and the opening ceremony is naturally very beautiful. Many media reporters are willing to come from afar to dig up the treasure. Yang Zizi's only assistant suddenly took a long leave due to family matters, so 11 Jin became both an assistant and a bodyguard. During the entire opening ceremony, 11 Jin stayed with Yang Zizi and took good care of her. There were too many people at the scene, and he almost got angry because other actors crowded into Yang Zizi. Fortunately, Yang Zizi stopped him in time, so that he did not reveal his identity. After the opening ceremony, there was an opening banquet. Don't go, Yang Zizi said, it was just an ordinary start-up party, there was no chance that anything unexpected would happen, not to mention, it didn't seem appropriate for 11 Jin to follow him all the time. No, I must be by your side anytime and anywhere. If you don't think about yourself, you should also think about your children, 11 Jin insisted not to leave. Now, no matter how stubborn Yang Zizi is, he must stay with her. Around you, even if it is just an ordinary start-up banquet. I'm on the front line now, and I'm the boss of a brokerage company. Who dares to touch me? I don't know what this kid is worried about. Moreover, she is no longer a human being, so why does he still treat her as a human being? Having said that, if you don't fear 10,000, just fear the worst, not to mention what if the child makes a fuss again. 11 Jin was worried that something like the last time would happen again. If no one was by her side, she would be. If your identity is exposed, that would be bad. Yang Zizi lowered his head and glanced at his lower abdomen. Also, this child did not have a fixed time for eating. If he really sucked blood at an inappropriate time, he would be in big trouble. In this case, let 11 Jin follow, so that everyone can rest assured. After the opening party, Yang Zizi will stay on the set for half a year. End of this chapter. The fake daughter can be either salty or sweet. Author, Wu Zizai. Chapter 280. Chapter 280 replaced. But fortunately, 11 Jin was with her, and there was an invisible person guarding her silently. However, on the first day of filming, when Yang Zizi was waiting to take a rest, the director suddenly ran over, beating each other with his hands, and the look on his face was even more embarrassing, and he didn't know how to speak. "What's wrong?" Director Yang Zizi asked proactively. "I'm sorry, Zizi, this drama may not be filmed for the time being." The director looked at Yang Zizi with a troubled face. "Can't shoot?" "Why?" Yang Zizi asked calmly, not surprised at all. "The entertainment industry is like this, there are always some unexpected accidents, and she was no exception." "What can't be filmed?" Suddenly, a proud voice came to Yang Zizi's ears, and a fashionably dressed girl walked out from behind the director. She is the only daughter of the chairman of TNU. She debuted at the age of 10. Now she is only in her early 20s. She has already overtaken all her peers and seniors in the entertainment industry and is tied for the top. Everyone is envious of the daughter of a wealthy family. This time the winner of the Elite Goddess is none other than her, and she also received the highest number of votes. Because of her excellent and superb acting skills and her outstanding appearance since childhood, she has gained hundreds of millions of fans and has many hit dramas. Who wouldn't love a little princess who is both capable and talented? Let me tell you, you have been replaced, and the heroine now is none other than me." Han Sui crossed her arms and looked at Yang Zizi with contempt. The more she looked at his face, the more unhappy she became. He stood up and wanted to tear her face to pieces. "This is the eldest lady of Tianyu. She is also expected to win the Elite Goddess Award this year, and she is also very likely to be recognized as the Queen of Television." The director introduced Han Sui to Yang Zizi with a smile. Had the director not told him these things that had not happened yet but were destined to happen, she would not have known whether these awards were well deserved. There are indeed extraordinary methods behind everything in the entertainment industry. In the entertainment industry, relationships are indeed a huge force that cannot be ignored. "Oh? Really?" Yang Zizi was nonchalant and disapproving, and didn't seem to take the other party seriously at all. Han Sui instantly became angry when she saw the disrespectful look on her face. "What's your expression?" "What expression does Miss Han think I should have?" Yang Zizi asked. "You." Han Sui was so angry that the corners of her mouth trembled. "Sure enough, as my cousin said, you are a shameless green tea bitch." Everyone Han Sui met since she was a child, no one would bow to her. But this time, not only did she not have a good attitude towards herself, he was even full of sarcasm, which made her extremely angry. Who doesn't know that he is Tianyu's little princess, and if he offends her, there will be no good end. According to what Han Sui just said, Li Yi is her cousin. Sure enough, there are quite a lot of connections in the entertainment industry. You'd better keep your mouth clean, otherwise, even if the entire entertainment industry is your relative, I will still conquer you." Yang Zizi pinched her chin and warned her wildly. Han Sui felt that she was about to lose her phase when she felt the strength of Yang Zizi, and her mandible was making a clicking sound. Suddenly, dozens of bodyguards in black surrounded Yang Zizi and attacked her instantly. Yang Zizi hadn't made a move yet, he just blinked a little, and these bodyguards who were overestimating their abilities suddenly felt burning pain all over their bodies. End of this chapter.